Hey guys, it's Erin. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you all about photography. I'm going to be telling you guys all about what equipment I use, how I have grown my photography business, and how you can make money as a freelance photographer. I'm out of breath. Anyways, I filmed a how I make money as a teenage photographer video back in 2018, and I felt like doing an update because my work has not only improved extremely, but I've also grown my business in those past 2 years. I have worked with some companies. I've worked with Carly Kloss's Code with Carly. I've shot 2 weddings. I've done way more senior photos than I did back then. I don't think I did senior photos back then. I have just financially grown my business a lot, and I just felt like sharing some tips. I will also be doing a little Q&A at the very end with some questions that I've been asked. And yeah, okay, so to start, I'm just gonna be talking about my equipment. Filming, this isn't really what I use for photography, but I just felt like mentioning it because I'm filming on it. Filming, I'm using the Canon M50. It's a little mirrorless vlogging camera. I know that like YouTubers like Haley Pham use it, for example. I used to use the Canon G7X Mark II, but I recently sold that camera and now I'm using the M50 and I really like it. It's great, has a little flip out screen, but enough of that. So in my 2018 video, I was using the Canon 80D, and in that video I mentioned how that was when I upgraded to the Canon 80D. I got it for Christmas, and I believe I would have had to have gotten the camera in 2017. So I think I got the camera 2017 Christmas. Maybe, yeah. And I have that Canon 80D right here. Here she is. And the lens on it is the Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter. I got this lens May 2019, so not even a full year. But I love this setup. It's a really good setup. The lens is like what makes the setup. This lens is absolutely insane. And at the very end of the lens, I have so many filters. I have like a pro mist filter, which gives a hazy effect. This lens, although I barely used it, it's been to Hawaii with me. I love this lens. I love this camera. This camera, it'll always be my baby, but I have since upgraded to a much bigger and better and way more expensive setup, and that is right there, so I'm just gonna grab that. And before I show you my new setup, I just want to say how I have been looking at this camera and eyeing this company's cameras for months now. I have wanted this camera for so long. I've been watching so many comparing and contrasting videos. I've been watching so many just tutorials using this camera, just a ton of different things, and I finally got it. I just bought it recently. I've only done 3 shoots with this camera. It is the Sony A7 Mark III, and wow, I can't believe I'm holding this camera. I can't believe I own this camera. On the camera is the Sigma 24 to 70 millimeter lens, and this is a whole new setup for me. I've had this whole setup. I've used this setup 3 times, as I mentioned, but I had to buy a new lens and everything for this camera because this camera is a Sony mount. That lens is for crop sensor cameras, which the 80D is. So I bought a adapter, but it had this really big just black ring around it because it's not a lens meant for a full frame camera, and this Sony is a full frame camera, so I had to get a new lens. And this lens is for full frame mirrorless cameras. Every time I use this lens, I want to cry. It's actually insane. Wow, this camera shoots in 4K. It's just, I know that it's not the equipment that makes a photographer, but it really has just improved my photography a lot. It's crazy because I thought my photos were okay with the 80D, and like pretty much in every photo shoot that I did with the 80D, I'd be like, oh man, I love this photo, and I just like never thought it was good enough. But now I've done 3 shoots in the past 3 days, and I like these shoots, I am so proud of these photos. It's actually insane. But yeah, that's the equipment that I'm using now. I love it. I'm gonna be selling the Canon 80D and the Sigma lens. If you want to buy that, hit me up, links in the description. I'm just gonna grab my laptop now, and I want to compare and contrast some of my old work to now. So I'm just going to start with some photos that I've had in my last video, because I posted in the 2018 video version of this. I showed some work and then I compared it, and this at the time was my current work, and I'm just going to put the photos up on the screen right there. So here's the first photo. This is of Kendall. You will see this as we go on, but in all of these photos, I just used the same preset on everything. I'm pretty sure it was like an Alex Goen preset. Love him, loved his presets, insane. I mean, I put a little petal in front of the lens. That's a cute little look, we love that. It's okay, the blacks are super crushed, it's very faded. I think I liked this photo a lot at the time. I honestly can't remember. I'm not too, up until like 3 days ago, I was never proud of my work. But recently I can say that I am. But yeah, this photo 2 years ago, it's so crazy because in the past 2 years there's been a extreme improvement, and it's really crazy to see. The next photo, okay, for the model in this photo, I shot with her twice. I did this shoot with her, and then I hated the photos. I hated how I did not like how I edited them. I did not like how they looked. So since I wasn't proud of them, I asked her if she would be interested in reshooting with me. She was. I didn't like how those photos looked either, so I just honestly just gave up. But it's literally, the photos look the exact same because they're the same preset. I edited her eyes way too much. It's just like, I don't know what I was doing. It's just like, I don't know. In the third photo, what is she standing next to? I don't know. Great model. That's Naphtali. She's been in my YouTube videos like back in like when we were in 6th grade, so like 2013 maybe, years ago. This photo looks the exact same as the other two. Not much to say there. Okay, so this photo, this is Gabby. This photo shoot was honestly like the peak of my career at that time. I don't know how many peaks you can have, but I definitely think this was one because I remember, I still love this photo. I still used a preset that I purchased for this photo, but I just love how this photo turned out. It's like not the best quality, but I was really happy with like the backlighting. I love the colors. I just love the plants, even though they're coming off of her head. But like I think I still have this photo on my website. It's not under my portfolio page, but it's like somewhere in there, I think. But yeah, I like this photo. This is from July 2018. It's not bad. It's not good. But this is like when I started to get kind of decent at photography. And then we bounced to this photo of Leela. This is my friend. This photo I believe is from the summer of 2019, and I'm like thinking back to my photo shoot with her. I loved a lot of the photos. I was trying out this new hazy filter. I put a plastic bag over the lens, which is what you will see here. The photo's cool, but just like the thing that I hate about all my old photographs is they're just like not crisp. They're like not like sharp. Like they were in focus, but they just like weren't, you know. And also all these photos were shot on the Sigma 30mm lens. I am gonna open up some of my recent work with the 80D. For my senior portraits, I really popped off. Okay, so for senior portraits, these photos are of Alyssa. These were shot with my Canon 80D and the 18 to 35mm. One of them may have been shot with my 50mm. I think that's this close-up one right here. But yeah, these photos, I love this one. This one is on the cover page of my website. I think it's now the third image, but for the longest time it was like the first image. But now since I have recent work, I have switched it. But I love those photos. They look great. I really started to like snap off with the senior photos during this time. I started to get better at editing. I kind of strayed away from presets at this time, you should say. I started editing, like learning how to actually make a photo look the way I want it to, this sounds so dumb, but it's just like being able to like go to a photo shoot now and know how I want something to look and actually being able to make it look that way is actually insane to me. I never, for the longest time I was so confused as to how, because I thought I was so good at editing and I could edit things really well. Like I was a good editor. It's just like I can make things look cool. I could just never edit something to make it look the way I want it to, and now I can, and all that just comes with just practice. Like this photo right here, this was shot with the Canon 80D and my 30mm Sigma lens, which is a very cheap lens, but I used it for the longest time. This is a photo of Morgan. I absolutely love this photo. I still love this photo. That photo was taken a minute ago. That was a while ago. This, okay, right here, I believe this was my first shoot with the 18 to 35mm lens. I was really into these wide angle shots of Emmy. These are my most recent photo shoots with the Canon 80D, and then I went to Hawaii, took some landscape photos, and then I kind of just stopped taking photos for a minute. I got very uninspired for a while, and then just recently I decided to make the big purchase on my new lens and camera, and it just really brought back a lot of inspiration that I missed. And now I think it's a good time to look at my recent work. First, okay, I'm just gonna like look at my 3 most recent shoots with the Sony camera. Wow. I'm just on my website. I seriously, okay, so for the shoot, these photos I'm gonna be showing you are of Cole. He is a male model here in Seattle. I am obsessed with how these photos look, and it really does help that he has very pretty eyes and that he's a very good model, because he really helped, like, having a good model really helps taking good photos. Like, obviously, like, the photographer should be able to like make anyone look good or whatever, but like seriously, like having a good model is so nice. I love it. I love taking photos of anyone, but just like this was fun. But yeah, I love these photos a lot. They're so sharp, and you can like, the thing I love about the Sony cameras is you can just zoom into it. I keep doing this all the time. I'm like, I'll be zooming into people's eyes. I'm like, oh my god, look at the quality, look at the quality. It's like, oh my god, I'm just freaking out, and I just love it so much. And I don't know, it's just, I love it. Anyways, but yeah, I love these photos of Cole. They're great. And then let me look at these photos of Marlo. Okay, so for these photos of Marlo, she was an angel. Literally, she was an angel, but she was also an angel. This photo right here is my absolute favorite. This was my first photo shoot with the Sony setup. I am losing my mind. I was just in shock the whole time while taking these photos. Wow. I don't even know how I took these, that honestly. But then the shoot that I did yesterday was with Sarah. I've shot with her before. If I can get some of my old work with her, I'm gonna put it up here. And like, it wasn't bad, but I did not like it that much. I mean, I don't dislike it, but like, you know, I didn't like it. But like, this photo is just so powerful. Like, I love it so much. And then like all these photos, like, I am just so happy with how these turned out. And then for all 3 of these shoots, I didn't use a single preset. I edited these photos how I want them to look, and I'm so happy with how they turned out. I don't know, I just love them so much. Like, I think for all of them, yeah, these photos, I am just so proud of how they look. And then like the reason why I'm showing you these is because I want to be able to document my growth. I think it's really cool to be able to do that. I love how these photos are looking. I love the camera. I love everything. I love how I've been editing. I love how I'm learning how to edit more. It's just a really cool process to me. I'm trying to think of like anything else I should say about my work. I think what I'm going to talk about now is just how I've grown my business, and my prices have gone up a lot since, well, not a lot, they've gone up, my prices have gone up since the last video, so income wise, it's nice. Recently, since I stepped out of photography for like a few months, I wasn't making any money, and I'm still like building up my portfolio with the Sony camera, so I haven't made any money this year yet from photography. But I was getting paid to do some events last year. I did some weddings. I got paid to do one, and I was just doing a lot of senior shoots. I was able to really just reel in the clients. I'm very proud of that. It was a lot of hard work. It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of time, but it's really worth it. It's really fun. It's just really cool to me being able to take a passion of mine and turn it into something I can make money off of. Like, even like, for example, all 3 of those shoots I just showed you with Cole, Marlo, and Sarah, all of them were free, and it's just like, I do it because it's fun, you know. And I think that if you're going into photography just to make money, I mean, you might be able to do well, but I think you'll just get burnt out, because why would you, like, it's kind of like just a normal job. Like, why would you do a job if you don't like it, you know? Photography to me is way more than a job, which I think is really cool. I think being able to make money is like what makes it cool. I don't really see it as a job. I kind of just see it as a hobby, which takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, a lot of effort. I'm just rambling at this point. But yeah, I don't really know how to say I grew my business. It kind of just happened like organically, I guess. I just took photos of more people. I reached out to people. I reached out to agencies. I went for like photography internship interviews. I just did a lot of different things, and I made connections. I did some networking. I still have a long ways to go. I want to work with certain people. I want to work with certain companies. I want to be reached out to more. So I have like a ways to go, but I'm still working on it. So in 2 years from now, I'll post a third part. But yeah, it's just really, I don't know, it's cool. But I think now I'm just going to answer some questions about photography. And the questions are on my phone, which is also recording my audio, so if the sound is whack, oh well. Okay, so the first question is, do you think booking fees are a good idea? I'm tired of people canceling. Absolutely. I think booking fees, I didn't do this for the longest time, but oh my gosh. Okay, I have a $100 non-refundable deposit, and like that seems like a lot to deposit, but like the cheapest package is $250, so you're literally paying like less than half for the deposit, only by like $20. But still, it's not that much money, because also the non-refundable part seems scary, but it's just like the deposit goes towards your photo shoot. You're locking in the date, you're locking in the time, because I'm not going to spend time planning out a photo shoot with you if you're just going to cancel last minute, because by depositing that money and then planning a shoot for like a few weeks in advance, that money is going towards my time, and if you cancel, I still get paid for the time that I put into the photo shoot. And like that non-refundable part, that makes it so like people will reschedule versus canceling, so don't lose any clients. So I definitely recommend having a deposit. People can just Venmo you, PayPal, however you want to take money. But yeah, it's really beneficial. I would really suggest it. On my website, I now have this new booking feature where you can literally it's kind of like I'm a little orthodontist. You can literally just click on the date, click on a time, and then pay the $100 deposit to lock in your session date. And yeah, it's really helpful. I really like it. I would suggest having a deposit. The second question is favorite lens for portraits. So even when I had the 18 to 35 millimeter, I was using that for portraits. The 50 millimeter is obviously the key, like a number one for portraits, because there's like no distortion. People always say avoid wide angle lenses because it distorts and it doesn't look good for portraits. But for example, my new lens, the 24 to 70, I'll just use the same lens, just zoom in to 70, and then we're good. But yeah, the 35 millimeter focal length is great for portraits, 70 is great for portraits, 30 is great for portraits, 50 is great for portraits. And then another question is, how long does it take you to edit set pictures? And it really depends. For example, those photos I took of Sarah, I did some retouching. So when I got home from the photo shoot at I believe like 3 p.m. and I stayed up until 12 editing. So there's that. I can usually edit pretty quickly. It definitely takes over 2 hours. It honestly depends on how many photos there are. For example, that photo shoot of Marlo, I gave her like 70 photos. For Sarah, I gave her like 25 photos. For Cole, I gave him like 35 photos. So honestly, it just depends, and it's really fun because the photo shoot with the fewer amount of photos took me the longest to edit. So yeah, it can take me a few days. I've had it take me some weeks before. Another thing is that if I don't like how the photos are turning out, I'm very slow at editing the photos. It might take me some weeks, so I'm very unmotivated because I'm just like, I hate these photos, I don't want to edit them. But it's like, I have to edit them because they have to go to the people I took the photos of, you know? And it really sucks because I'm just like, I don't even want to edit these. Like, I want to trash these photos right now. But yeah, and for that, like, I just procrastinate editing the photos. I just really don't want to. Sorry that my audio was bad just then. My phone was all the way over there. I forgot I was recording on my phone. But I'm trying to think of anything else I should talk about. I think, yeah, we talked about a lot. We talked about how I grew my business just from reaching out to modeling agencies, how I worked on like weddings and all these things. I just reached out to a lot of models. I did a lot of free work last year, sort of. I talked about my equipment, but yeah, it's just, photography just requires practice. I really suggest it. I still have a ways to go, but I think it's going somewhere, so I'm very happy about that. But yeah, if you live in Seattle, hit me up. If you enjoy watching, please give it a like and comment. I have not said this in forever. Once again, I have not uploaded a video since December 2018. I'm very new to this. It's like starting fresh. Subscribe, because I'm very motivated right now. I'm very inspired. So I plan on editing. So I plan on posting more videos about photography. If you want to see when I upload new videos, turn on my post notifications, follow me on Instagram, check out my website. I'm trying to think of other things to promote myself with, but yeah. If you have any questions about photography, because I did not touch base on like everything, I only touched base on a few things. I don't know what the saying is. Yeah, definitely comment them down below, message me on Instagram. If you want to buy my camera, buy my camera. I don't want it. I need my money back. But yeah, and that should be everything. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will talk to you next time. Peace.